Hello, brothers and sisters. This is Edison Severino, and I want to talk to you today about a subject that is very, very important for you, for your family, and for the future of this organization. As you know, the United States have seen since 2008 one of the biggest financial crises that we have ever seen since the Great Depression. Millions of workers across the country have lost their jobs. And in our area, we have seen the same thing, especially in the construction industry, where buildings that were being built did not make economic sense anymore since everything plummeted in the financial markets. You know, the banks and the richest people in the country, they basically created this crisis by inflating numbers, and now working people across this country are really paying the price. Unions in our area have taken measures to be able to stem the huge unemployment that they all saw. You also have felt this. During the past few years, we have had one of the lowest seasons for work in our industry. It's getting very, very hard for our contractors to win jobs since the non-union industry continues to grow and continues to be more aggressive. Worst of it all is that non-union companies are utilizing the skilled labor that they are members of our union. Members that go and take their classes in our schools, members that are taking health care from our contractors and then go and take their knowledge and their abilities to the non-union companies. That makes it very, very difficult to compete since those workers are working for those companies for $22 an hour, while the union companies are paying $50.20. So we have big decisions to make. One of them is, for example, that the $3 raise that we had scheduled for December would put our contractors in even bigger disadvantage. And they approached us saying that if we take the raise, they would be impossible to compete, and they would have to leave the union at the end of the agreement in 2013. So seeing that, we decided to have a membership conference to talk to the members directly about what's happening in our industry. We brought members in to talk to them, to talk to you. People selected delegates by signing a petition. And during the last 2 days, these members came and heard from industry leaders, from unions, and also from management, presidents of the building trades, district council business managers. And they all talk basically about the same thing. The construction industry in New York is suffering. And we have seen some of the biggest contractors, for example, in the state of New Jersey, send abrogation letters, meaning that they will no longer be in the union. We cannot let this happen to us. So those members in that conference made important decisions. And the decisions that we made in the conference are as follows. The Contractors Association of New York and New Jersey both agree. They came to us looking for relief in order for them to be able to stay in business, and most importantly, to be able to stay union and continue to pay the wages and benefits that we expect and that we have earned throughout the years. But they say that that would be impossible under the current conditions. One of the things that they believe is one of the main reasons for their lack of ability to compete fairly is the out-of-work list. I understand that some people rely on the out-of-work list to be able to find work, but to the contractor's point of view, the out-of-work list has been something that throughout the years has affected tremendously their ability to be effective. They have to inflate prices in order to account for people that they believe are not as productive as the regular company men. Also, they have told us that the people from the out-of-work list make about 75% of the accidents on the job, increasing tremendously their workers' compensation and their general liability insurance. One of the contractors, one of our biggest contractors, by the way, in the city, have told us that they are unable to get insurance and they might have to shut their business. If that would happen, that would put a lot of members out of work. So we understand, we need to realize, and the members at the conference understood, that the out-of-work list, while it helps some of the members, it affects negatively most of the members. And in that light, the members voted unanimously to remove the demands from the hiring hall to contractors. In other words, there will not be any more an out-of-work list. And whenever we get work, that the contractors need workers, they will call us and we will send a text message, just like we did during Sandy. Members that reply will get called for that job. And every member will have an opportunity to compete and to call and to get calls for every single job that the union receives in the future. But no longer will the union have a ratio for the out-of-work list on the jobs. We believe that that is the right thing to do at this point, and we believe that that will help the contractors be more competitive. But most importantly, the out-of-work list has been used by some members as the only method of getting work. And that is wrong, because that is not what the union is supposed to do. The union is here to make sure that workers are getting the right benefits and the right wages. And most importantly, that the unions are getting respect, that the workers are getting respect at work. But some members have understood that the union is here just to provide them work. And that is not what this is about. You know, people need to be able to find their own work by being productive and getting relationships at work. That is how this industry works. Another area of great concern is the residential asbestos abatement industry, an industry that comprise about half of all the non-union work, and where our companies find it absolutely impossible to compete. Today, that is a market that we simply do not have. And in order to get it, we're going to need to do something drastic. What we propose and was accepted and voted on unanimously by the members at the conference is to create a recovery package that takes the fight back to the non-union contractors' turf, an area where they are growing, to then get the strength to come out and compete against our contractors in the public sector and also in the private commercial jobs where we are still strong. So we need to recover that market. And a 20% or a 15% reduction is simply not enough. We need to do something even more deep and aggressive than that. So what the members approved was a 40% residential market, a total package of $30 an hour. With that total package, we will be able to really take the fight to them and really get our contractors competing and winning residential jobs. Remember, this is a market that we do not have. So we will not be cutting anything we have now, but we will be launching a campaign to address an industry or a portion of the industry that totally has eluded us and has remained non-union all these years. We will also be able to sign some of those non-union contractors, and when they do commercial work, they will create commercial union jobs for the regular members. What we propose also is that those jobs in the residential market should be done by the new membership. We believe that members that come in new to the local should not be able to work at the same level that handlers that have been in the union for years are making. You know, right now the package for a handler is $50.20 an hour. If somebody comes in new, while they get experience and they build up their hours, they should start in the residential market. Two things will be accomplished. Once they become a regular A handler, they will appreciate more what they have gotten. And we will find how members will begin to feel more responsibility and appreciate more their union, something that today is not so much what's happening. Also, by doing that, we will be able to build and create a whole new area for our union to grow and for us to fight against the non-union forces. So it was voted by the membership that anybody with less than 1,000 hours and that joined after January of 2010 is going to be considered a B handler. Those B handlers are only going to work in the residential market. Starting from February and going forward, the members that are considered B are going to be able to work in both B jobs and A jobs. B jobs being, of course, residential, and A jobs being the regular jobs so the rest of the union members are going to be working until the month of August. By August, they will only be allowed to work on the B residential jobs. We will win the residential market if we apply this. We will win more union work for both the new members and also for the existing membership, because those companies are going to go and do other work. And when they do other work, they will have to utilize our regular handlers from the A list. So that is the way we intend to capture that industry, and we will do so with the support and understanding and with the fight that this union can provide, and the decision to make this industry better, and most importantly, to make that industry a union industry. And lastly, we can no longer tolerate our members working for the non-union contractors. They are a competition, and it's simply unconscionable that we are assisting them with work. But not only that, we're also taking our training acquired in the training fund that is paid by our contractors at the tune of $10 million a year. And then take that training and that knowledge and that know-how and those licenses and bring them to assist the non-union company that doesn't have to pay a dime of contribution for that training. The health fund is the same thing. We have members that secure health benefits through contributions by our employers and then leave to work in the non-union field. And that is simply not the way that the health benefit is designed. The health benefit is designed to capture all the hours that are worked in the industry, because that is the only way we can pay it for. So workers that are working non-union not only are affecting the industry, and not only are hurting our union contractors and hurting themselves and bringing down prices, but are also hurting our health benefits for all of us. So the Contractors Association, the members in the meeting, and all of us in the union agree that those members need to be penalized. And from now on, members that work for a contractor that does not provide compatible health benefits are going to be suspended from the industry by the Joint Safety Initiative as a Joint Safety Board violation. That will happen practically immediately after the signature of this contract extension, because we can simply not tolerate anymore these members working non-union. So at the conference, the members voted unanimously on a comprehensive package that will create more work for you by enhancing our contractors' ability to compete and win jobs. We voted to extend the agreement to 2015. We voted to freeze rates at the current levels. We also voted to create a 40% reduction in the residential market and to eliminate the hiring hole. Most importantly, we also voted to suspend any member that is working for a contractor that does not provide health insurance and does not contribute to a training center comparable to the ones that the Local 78 members obtain by working for our contractors. We believe that that package will create the ability for our members to have more work and our contractors to be more competitive. We can be better. We can do better if we unite and we fight to protect and defend the integrity of our union. And in doing that, we will also protect and defend the well-being of all of our families. Thank you and have a good day.